So about 10 to, Roger came round and said something like, "What's happening?" Which is a sign that at least we were expecting Rinpoche to come. Otherwise he wouldn't have come round to say that. And then, so then Rinpoche said, if I had something to do here with you, you know, something to talk about or something, then to go ahead and do that. And then we talked a bit, me and Roger, and since, you know, I mean, people were expecting Rinpoche and so on, we were saying it would be nice if Rinpoche would come, words to that effect. So Roger went in, and then what came out was, what he came out with was, if you've got something to do, well, in a way we do. There's plenty of things to do. And in fact, there was a message that came from Rinpoche yesterday, I think maybe when we'd already started, so it didn't get delivered, which was maybe to do some Shakyamuni Buddha meditation and mantra recitation, meditating on the mind meditating on mind, those two things. Well, you know, one or the other or both. And so, I don't know, is there a Shakyamuni Buddha meditation in this book? Does anybody know? There is. Okay, so there is one. Do you know where? But you know there is one. Okay. Does anybody know? I think the mantra is in the Lama Chirpa that we did this morning. For people who don't know the mantra, then that would be the main thing. Towards the end, right? Before the Maitreya. Yeah, it's on the top of page 164. So that's the mantra anyway. So what we can do is, anyway, we can use the description that comes at the beginning of the puja, the Guru Puja, the Georgia Lama Chirpa, on page 53. So we can use that. I think we're more likely to use that in the evening. Thanks. In space in front of me is a large jeweled throne supported by 8 great lions, on top of which is a seat of a variegated lotus and moon and sun mandalas. On top of this sits the essence of my own root guru in the aspect of the Conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha. The color of his holy body is the purest gold, and he has an Ushnisha on the top of his head. Shakyamuni Buddha has 1 face and 2 arms. His right hand is in the mudra of controlling the earth, and his left is in the mudra of concentration, holding a bowl filled with nectar. He is wearing the saffron robes of a monk and is adorned by the marks and signs. His holy body is in the nature of transparent light, and he sits in the Vajra posture in the center of an aura of light rays. Surrounding him are the direct and indirect gurus, deities, Buddhas, bodhisattvas, dakas, dakinis, and protectors. In front of each of these holy beings on a faultless throne sits the Dharma explained by them in the form of texts having the nature of light. All of these beings in the merit field are in the aspect of being pleased with me. By remembering their qualities and kindness, I feel great devotion towards them. From beginningless time up until now, I and all mother sentient beings have been experiencing the various general sufferings of samsara numberless times, especially the sufferings of the evil gone realms. Still, it is difficult to see the end of samsara, to see the depth of suffering. At this time, I have received a perfect human rebirth, qualified by the 8 freedoms and 10 richnesses, which is difficult to find, but once found is highly meaningful. It can be used to attain a good future rebirth, liberation, and even enlightenment. Now, after having met the precious teachings of the Buddha, which are so difficult to meet, and the holy virtuous friend who reveals the complete unmistaken path, if I do not try to attain the most sublime state of full enlightenment, which is beyond the state of peace and all samsaric sufferings, I will have to experience over and again the general sufferings of samsara and the particular sufferings of the 3 lower realms. Who has the power to protect me from these sufferings? Only the Guru and the 3 precious gems abiding in front of me. I must achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all mother sentient beings. Therefore, I am going to take refuge in my Guru and the 3 precious gems. So meditating on going for refuge and generating bodhicitta. First of all, we don't need to recite the words. Some people know the prayers by heart, and otherwise we have to jump backwards and forwards in the book, and that also becomes distracting. So just think about the meaning of going for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, particularly focusing on the Guru in front. And think about the nature of cyclic existence. we can see how, even in this very lifetime, so much suffering as individuals, each of us experiences, the physical pain from sickness and so forth. Even during this retreat, during this day, the discomfort, the pain of having to sit, then the pain that our own minds cause ourselves because of not having developed the inner qualities of love, compassion, and bodhicitta, and so forth, that bring such happiness to the mind. So instead, it's just one story of grasping attachment and irritation, anger, arrogance, jealousy, frustration, the pain that causes us. And even when things are going well and we're feeling comfortable and so forth, we're still not beyond suffering. We know that. You look around the world and you see how much suffering there is in the world, whether you think of just this human world or whether you think of all of the realms of psychic existence, all the suffering that the various fellow Mother and Father sentient beings are experiencing right now. They're experiencing because of karma. And we also have created that karma. We also have that karma. We're prone to that. It could happen any time to us. We're not beyond that. We're still trapped in that. So in this way, please try to get a sense of being trapped in that prison of our own making, prison of karma and the mental afflictions. Try to find that unbearable. And in this way, try to generate renunciation. and then switch the focus to the other sentient beings, countless other sentient beings who are in the same situation and find that unbearable. Thinking, I myself alone, I'm going to free them. I have to do that. There's no question I have to do that. In order to do that, I'm going to achieve enlightenment by relying upon the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. The Buddha, the one with the omniscient mind that knows exactly what needs to be done. And that the path that the Buddha taught, and the Sangha community of those who are practicing those teachings, practicing that path. So within that pure attitude of bodhicitta and refuge, then we'll recite the mantra more or less as it's found on page 164, if you don't know it. Tahata Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Soha. We'll recite that together a few times, and then we can recite it quietly to ourselves, visualizing that the purifying white light and nectar comes from the Guru Buddha in front to each of us sentient beings, to each of the sentient beings, enters into us and completely purifies all our suffering and the cause of suffering, all of our obscurations, all of our illness, all of our discomfort. So we recite the mantra. Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Munaya Soha. 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 Tayata Om Mune Mahamunaya Soha Dayada Om Mune 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 Mune Mahamunaya Soha. as in any meditation, don't allow the mind to be distracted. When it's distracted, then gently bring it back to the meditation. Hear the meditation, reciting the Shakyamuni Buddha name mantra, visualizing, purifying white light and nectar, purifying oneself and all other sentient beings. How we can do this is we can think there is a beam of light from the heart of Guru Shakyamuni in front, beam of light coming from the heart of the Buddha Shakyamuni in front to each sentient being, including ourselves. Visualizing all sentient beings in the form of humans. And through this beam of white light, like a straw, flows white nectar into the crown of one's head, through the crown of one's head, washing through oneself, one's whole body and mind, and all of those impurities and obscurations and illness and so on, all gets washed out through the lower pores, through the lower orifices, in the form of like dirty liquid and various creepy crawlies that all disappear into the earth, and so oneself and all sentient beings become completely pure in this way. And don't allow this to be just a meditation, just a visualization, think it's actually happening. Feel the joy and the bliss of that, of all the sentient beings being completely purified. Now we can recite, this time, think it's yellow light and nectar, like a straw of yellow light down which yellow nectar flows, filling us and all the sentient beings with all the enlightened qualities, filling us up with bodhicitta, compassion, wisdom that understands clearly and quickly, which doesn't forget, filling us with health and wealth and merit, confidence, ability to meditate without distraction, and so forth. All the qualities you can think of that you would like to have, you have those qualities. Daya da om mune mune maha munaya soha Daya da Om Mune Mune Maha Munaya Soha. 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 Daya da Om Mune Mahamuni Soha Dayata Omuni So in this way we've spent over half an hour on this practice. That in itself is good, but here in particular, we've been doing this practice according to the instruction of our Guru, Kyabje Rinpoche, and well, I mean, it's just difficult to imagine how amazing that is. That the most powerful way of purifying and accumulating merit, and the quickest way to achieve enlightenment, is by practicing according to the instructions of one's Guru. So here, this life that we have at the moment is like a flash of lightning in a dark night. So the dark night of the lower realms, perhaps from where we came from, maybe where we're going to be going to after this life, if we're not very careful, we have this very, very brief period of time, not just as human beings, but human beings with the precious human rebirth, with the 8 freedoms and 10 endowments or 10 richnesses. When you get that kind of opportunity, then on top of that, you've met with the Buddha's teachings, not just the Buddha's teachings, but the Mahayana teachings, and not just the Mahayana teachings, the Vajrayana teachings, and not just that, but the Vajrayana teachings that has formulated by Rinpoche. And having met with a fully qualified guide who can help one to make use of that opportunity. This kind of opportunity is something that can be very easily wasted. We can easily waste it, and we do waste a lot of our time. But here we've spent 30, 40 minutes really not wasting that time, doing something very, very powerful. Not just reciting the mantra of Buddha Shakyamuni, but reciting this mantra with the view of one's Guru appearing in the aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha, which means not just the Guru kind of like looking like that, like a person dressed up for a part in a drama, but actually this is Shakyamuni Buddha who appears to us in this way, as it says in the Liberation, which is maybe got the most amazing explanation about how to meditate on the Guru, thinking of the kindness and the faith, seeing the Guru as a fully enlightened being. Well, there, Pabon Kadijin Yimpo quotes Vajradhara as saying that when he passed away, so Vajradhara, I mean, as most people know, it's the aspect or the form of Buddha Shakyamuni for giving tantric teachings. So Vajradhara said that after he had left the world, passed away, then he would still be in the world, guiding sentient beings as the spiritual guide. He said, I will be there. And as an enlightened being, there's no reason that no way that he would say that and not act accordingly. So actually, when you think about those meditations, you see there's no way that your own Guru could possibly not be Vajradhara. So, in other words, there's no way he could not be Buddha Shakyamuni, appearing in a form that suits our karma and our minds. So it's not just visualizing one's Guru looking like that, but actually that is who he is. Our Vajradhara Guru, that's the whole meaning of that. Kyabje Rinpoche, our Vajradhara Guru, not just like Vajradhara, not just like a title, but that's who he is. So to spend even this short time practicing according to his instruction, it's just inconceivable. This is the way, this is how, as Rinpoche was talking about, those people who have achieved enlightenment in one lifetime, achieved the union in one lifetime. This is how they did it, by the Guru Yoga, seeing the Guru as an enlightened being, not seeing someone who is not an enlightened being as an enlightened being, seeing somebody who is an enlightened being as an enlightened being. And then we can spend, well, anyway, a few minutes doing the meditation on the mind, meditating on mind, which means meditating on the mind being colorless and formless, as how Rinpoche has described it a few times to me. I'm sure that's usually how he describes the meditation. So you're aware of all of the different thoughts and perceptions arising one after the other and not being sucked into them. Just being aware of the mind itself, which is colorless and formless, completely devoid of any kind of physical attributes. So we'll try to do that for a few minutes. So we can dedicate the virtue of doing this meditation on the mind and the Shakyamuni Buddha meditation, as well as all the virtue of the past, present and future of oneself and others, to all beings that don't yet have the awakening mind of bodhicitta that cherishes others more than oneself, to have that mind. Those that already have that mind, for it never to degenerate and always increase. Chanju sem chok rinpo che mai ge panam ki gyu chi ge pa nyam ba me ba ye gong ne gong du ba va jo tu su chan jin chan gun gya den kyam be we kun zu to po ze man tu tru pa ta zo tu je gun do shab den jo. So sorry I didn't mention the page number, but anyway that's the long life prayer for Rinpoche. Even if you don't recite the words, we can still think of the meaning, which means dedicating all of the virtue of the past, present, and so future of oneself and others to Rinpoche having a limitlessly long life. Also dedicate for the long lives of all of our spiritual guides, all the spiritual guides in this world. And for all of their holy wishes to be fulfilled, each and every one of them, exactly according to their wishes. And we can do the food offering prayers on page 181. So with Om Ahom, you make the food that we are just about to have for lunch pure, blissful, and inexhaustible. And you offer that blissful nectar well to the Guru in front. We've already been visualizing, and also we can imagine at the heart there's a Shakyamuni Buddha, or however you want to do the meditation. And so when we're eating, and right now when we're offering, nectar to the Guru at one's heart that causes the Guru, who is the actual, in fact, all enlightened beings of the 10 directions, causing the Guru to experience uncontaminated bliss. So that's how to eat the food. Om Aung, Om Aung, Om Aung, Lama Sangye, Lama Chöte Je Lama Ge Tunde Gönge Jeba Lama Dela Manamla Jeba. Also, something we shouldn't forget, which I forgot, thinking I, the one who's dedicated, or the virtue dedicated, the action of dedicating what we dedicated for, all of these are completely empty of existing the way they appear, like hallucinations, because of in fact being merely labeled by the mind, but appearing like they are independent of the mind, not merely labeled by the mind. Thank you. So, yeah, well, anyway, last night Rinpoche did speak of coming this morning, and then things changed, obviously, and Rinpoche was also talking about giving the precepts tomorrow morning, and also the next morning coming for the Lama Sherpa with the Sog offering. That means the first session, right, you know, early, after we've taken precepts. But things can change.
Just one quick announcement. If anybody is thinking